Yo, good morning, people. Yours truly, one and only Dragon Lee. Just want to say some thoughts on my mom that I think people really need to hear. It's June 28th right now, Sunday morning. Um, I would love to bring this attention to a lot of people. Of course, I'm probably going to get a lot of heat and a lot of hatred, but it's okay. I don't. The world is full of the shit anyway, so it don't matter to me personally. And just don't really care whether enough people like or hate me anyway. But I'm gonna speak my mind, and I'm gonna speak the truth. I really strongly feel that this month of June should definitely be more of a Black Lives Matter month, in the sense of the resistance of fighting, pretty much like fighting the power against an injustice system, which honestly I truly do support this cause. I support the actual real cause of the real people who's doing this, and they're really meaning it from the heart. Like you can see the difference in the emotions, and that you see they speaking from the heart, compared to a lot of fake ass people who are just doing it for commercializing shit. Just to show their face out there. Look what we could do. Look, okay, we got what we want. Yay, everybody, let's go home now. We all good now. Everything is good. Everything's fine and dandy. And I would say probably by next month, every half of these people who are supposedly there, it's not going to be doing it anyway. They're going to go about their lives, doing what their everyday shit is, and it's going to fade away. So I really think that June should definitely be an important thing, like a form of black history, but not more or less black history, but more like a resistance, a rising up in power. So I will say that, and I truly do support that, and I hope that people do make this month, or throughout the month of this resistance, you know, against an injustice system. So I hope they do consider this month. Um, June is also the month for Father's Day. Okay, we all have a father, no matter what. Our Father who art in heaven, the Father who conceived us here. Okay, and I really believe that that should be something of importance, and we should never forget. And I think if more people, instead of trying to eliminate the father, the man, the role figure, okay, yes, there is a lot of deadbeats out there, and a lot of those fathers don't even deserve that recognition. But what about the fathers who do? What about the fathers who do make an effort and who do care and get treated bad by the mothers? And what about the fathers who are doing their job? So we need to remember that. We need to request that, because fathers need that praise, and fathers. I really believe that if the more praises that people do for fathers, it will start keeping fathers closer to their children, and providing a father for the children. So, with that being said, that needs to be brought back. Let's not also forget about the Caribbean and the Puerto Rican festivals that goes on in this month, which a lot of people forget. And the reason why a lot of these people forget this is because of another form of group who infiltrated and took over the month, and everyone forgot about that. Now, people, race, ethnicity, culture means way more than preference, especially sexual preference, when it comes to the LGBT and pride. Oh yeah, I know I'm gonna get the hatred, and yes, I'm gonna be everything bad under the book and under the sun. But you know what? I'm gonna speak the truth, and you're gonna hate me, and you're gonna end up calling everything that you want to call, and that's fine. I don't really care. Um, it's what your group is made of anyway, full of hate, and you try to lie and say it's about love. It's a mockery. Love is love. No, it's a mockery. It's lust is lust. Okay. Now, I'm not doubting the fact that there is not some people out there who are practicing and living their lives in the same sex relationships. There are probably some people in the world who actually do really love each other, but there's a lot of them that's not. It's a trend, and there's more to it. Okay, So excluding those particular people who just want their simple rights and live their life without being prejudiced or whatever, and not advertising on what their sexual preferences, because they know who they are. Real people know who they are. They don't have to advertise it. So even though I still don't agree with same-sex relations or homosexuality, however you choose to call it, that's whatever. But I do agree everyone should have deserve their rights, and people should be left alone and not have be discriminated against. But this message mostly targets towards the LGBT community. This is a hypocritical group of a community. It is a fake community. Okay? It has nothing to do with love. It's a mockery against God. It's a mockery against the Bible. Okay? Love is something that they took from God. They'll use the methods of God's words and saying, and so you could accept it and then attack God, which doesn't make sense to me, and attack religion. Okay? Let's not forget the fact of the rainbow. The rainbow happens to be a gift from God, a promise from God that He would never destroy this planet by a flood. And yet this was taken and made as a symbol of an abomination and made a flag. Now the next question is, why do you need a flag? There's only two things of what a flag is used for: a country and a military. Now we all know there is no country where anyone in the LGBT, there's no LGBT country. PQ, whatever you added into it. There's no country. So then it narrows it right down. Military. This is not a parade. It's a march. Okay? This has to do with lust. This also has to do with a lot of things when it comes to taboo, which is, like I said, which is not God-like. Okay? Yeah, you could be mad at me. That's fine. But I don't think Pride, this Pride Month thing, this should be eliminated. And the reason why it should be eliminated is because how many people out there who has been raped, sexually assaulted, molested when they were children? Isn't that this Pride Month a slap in their face? And be reminded of the horrors that they had to go through and the traumatic experiences they have to relive every time they see that? No one thinks about that. They don't think about that because they're selfish, because pride means more. What about the brothers who went to jail and the sisters who went to prison and was raped and forced into those type of relationships? They have to live their everyday life, and when June comes around, they're reminded. This is why this month should not be about them. It's a sexual preference. It has nothing to do with ethnicity. And I'm getting tired of always this comparison to, black people or whatever. Listen, when you walk down the block, you see a person who happens to be black or white or brown or whatever. You can look at them, you know what they are. You know that what their ethnicity is, or an idea of what their ethnicity is. Okay? You can tell by their clothing, of their cultural background. When you walk down the block, you can't tell if someone is gay or not unless they make it known. So this is why this can never be compared to. You never seen no form of sexual preference profiling. You never seen the police go down the block and say, hey buddy, get against the wall. We got a call or someone in your description. A man in a dress just robbed a liquor store. Never. You've never seen the fact where there's police brutality against people who happen to be in this community. Okay? Just like you've never seen LGBTPQ, whatever, slavery. Never. You can never compare yourself to to an actual race and cultural ethnicity or whatever you want to choose to call it. You can never compare your struggles to them. You choose the lifestyles you do. No one chooses to be black. No one chooses to be white. No one chooses to be brown, Asian, and etc. So, with that being said, you know what the issues are, and you chose this lifestyle. That was your preference. Now, you can say this is whatever you want to say, but it's the truth. No one will ever know who you are until you tell them. But somebody else out there can see what someone looks like. So, I strongly really saying what I'm saying and support what I'm saying, while this month should never be about that. All you're doing is reminding people of the harvest they went through. You was never born that way, but you're born black. Let's be real. Yeah, sorry about that. So, anyway, going back to what I was saying, that's why I don't think it is. You can never put nobody in that same category. Like I said, there's never been no gay slavery. There ain't never been like that. But I will say this, though. Through the times of slavery, homosexuality has been used as a weapon on slaves to disrespect the males and to degrade them in front of everyone. Okay? And that's the situation. So, like I said before, all I'm saying is there's too many traumatic experiences that's going on out there. And when you look at this Pride Month, this whole entire Pride Month thing, it's just a reminder to a lot of people who was sexually molested, raped, pedophilia, turned out in so many ways. Also in the sense of turning out in the sense of the usage of drugs and in the conducting of lust. Okay, and people wanted to try and experiment new things underneath the influences of substances such as drugs and alcohol. Okay, and let's not forget about people who was in prison and who got violated and attacked while they was in jail. What about a lot of the people out there who are mothers and everything, and they will experience domestic violence, and the daughters witnessed this and became fearful of being with men, what also turned them out to becoming lesbians. Okay, so some people just got turned down in general. Well, once again, underneath the influence or trying to experiment or dares or influence, and then end up liking it. So there's so many different reasons. There's so many different things. Either way it goes, it was pushed and forced. And like I said, you can say it's hateful. You can say whatever. But how many of you actually did any kind of research on this? How many of you actually counseled people in this field? How many of you people dealt with people firsthand and hand on? Everything always started with a traumatic experience when it comes to this. This is why this shouldn't be celebrated. Okay? Because it's too much of a reminder to a lot of people out there who has been violated. A lot of children. Okay? A lot of adults who went to prison. Okay? And it's unfair. And most of these things happen to children at least under the age of 5. So a lot of them don't even remember. They don't even recall because they're innocent and didn't know what was going on. And most of you don't even know. You can't even remember anyway when you were about 5 or under 5. So you can't say you were born that way because you don't know what happened to you. A lot of things can also be done too when said too, even with Catholic churches, with a lot of the priests there. And since homosexuality, a lot of those origins came from Rome. By the way, yeah, some of you are going to get mad about that too, but it's the truth. From Rome, they were known as boy lovers, right along with the Arabs and a bunch of other people back in the days. So these things happen, and this is why people get turned out. Okay? Do you know a lot of Muslims, before they got their wives, they took young boys as their lovers first? A lot of Catholic priests used to do the same. Okay, and use it in the name of God and manipulate the word of God. So I understand why some of you don't like the whole thing with the religion, but you know what? Religion has nothing to do with man. Man is evil. And let me just say this to you, a lot of you people out there who are Christians or religious folks, some of you just hate just cause. It's a trend, like everyone on social media. So Real people of God will hate the sin, never the sinner, because we are all sinners. And that means you would have to hate everyone, including yourself. So just to be a little fair to those people, okay? But these people need help, not glorification. Okay? There was a lot of people who are afraid to speak up, who's in this lifestyle. So all I can say is, some of you just try to be friends, and you know what? Start teaching people the real proper definitions, because a lot of the definitions do go into play. Now, like I say, going back to the LGBT people, a lot of these people are Satanists. They are worshiping entities, okay, and they are anti God, anti-religion, anti-Christian, anti-anyone who's against them. People, you might want to do your research, because homosexuality actually does start from Satanism. That's why most people want to turn to Satanism, because they could do as they willed. Okay, Aleister Crowley, one of those people. Anton Levy, another one. So at the end of the day, okay, he's Aleister Crowley is the father of Barbara Bush. Okay, and Barbara Bush is the wife to George W. Bush Sr., who are the parents to George W. Bush, who happens to be the 10th cousin of Barack Obama. So it makes sense that why Barack Obama legalized this and always opposed God, because all of them are Freemasons. All of them are also part of Skulls and Bones, or one of those two. Either way it goes, these are an occult, and they're against and opposing God. So for a lot of you say that people who hate and speak hate, you might want to look at the people who are hating people against God. At the end of the day, for some of you people out there who likes to manipulate the thing, the Bible, first of all, is not a white man's Bible. So get that straightened out. It can't be a white man's Bible when everybody in the Bible happens to be people of color and black. Especially when the Bible actually also originated from Ethiopia, and the religion in the Bible there. Ethiopia, last time I checked, wasn't white people. Okay? And the Old Testament also comes from the Muslims, from the Quran. Once again, these people are not white. Okay? Yes, white people actually, it's not that white people are trying to turn you into their religion. They accepted your religion and we neglected ours. Stop turning away. Learn your history, research, and learn your true origins. If some of you think that you're rebels against the system and you're rebels against the elite, well, you're falling right into their plans. So when some of you wonder why I talk what I talk, I'm going to tell you the truth. I know most of you don't want to be saved, but I'd rather try to tell you anyway. Hopefully you can choose to be saved. But at least you can't say no one's never told you the truth. So you can't say, well, I didn't know. You know. Peace. God bless. God with y'all. You know what I'm saying? And for those of you who do believe in God, don't you lose your faith and change. Stay true. Stay loyal to God. Okay? Stay loyal to your beliefs. Because if Satan can keep loyal to his, why should God people lose their faith? You stay loyal to your God. Let the Satanists stay loyal to them. Once again, peace and God bless. And like I said, keep June about your fathers. We need more fathers. More fathers is involved, less single parents. Okay? Puerto Rican and the Caribbean festivals, stay true to it and stay true to everything. One.